Yeah, welcome back. Let's solve question 3. It says n is an integer. Work out A. The smallest possible value of n when n is greater or equal to 6.5. B. The largest possible value of n when n is less than negative 3. And C. The possible values of n when negative 2 is less than or equal to n less than 2. Alright, so when we're talking about integers, we're talking about whole numbers. Alright, so here is how we go about the first one. N is greater than 6.5. So we have our number line. Here we have 0, and let's say we have 6.5 here. Now, n is greater than, meaning that we are going to have our circle on 6.5 and then we'll go to the right. Now, don't forget that it is also equal to, so we shade this. Now, we're not even asked to represent this on a number line, okay? But sometimes, if you are not so clear, you don't know how to, what to do, why not start from what you know and you can arrive at what exactly you are looking for. Okay, so in this case, um, numbers that are greater than 6.5 here, we have 6.6, 6.7, okay, we have and so on, then we have 7, then we have 8, we have 9. So they're asking for an integer, meaning an whole number. So the smallest possible value we are looking at here is going to be 7, because after 6.5 the next integer is 7. Okay, we have 8, we have 9, we have 10. All of these are greater than 7. Okay, so the answer in this question is 7. Let's look at the B. B tells us to find the largest possible value of n. So you just need to first represent it on the number line. Here you have 0 and here you have negative 3. Now, n is less than negative 3. When you're talking about, okay, so here you have a negative 3, draw a circle on negative 3. Less than means you move to the left. Now, what are the numbers that are on the left of negative 3? These are the numbers that are less than negative 3. So we have negative 4, we have negative 5, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the largest possible value of n, okay, which is less than negative 3, is negative 4. Okay, so after negative 4, we have negative 5, negative 6, and so on and so forth, of which negative 4 is greater than negative 5. So do not be deceived by, okay, the number 5 is bigger than 4. So 5 should be bigger than, 5 should be greater than 4. In this case, there's a negative there. So that negative 4 is greater than negative 5. So the answer to this question is negative 4. Alright, so we move on to C. Here we have the possible values of n when negative 2 is less or equal to n less than 2. So we could decide to break this down into two parts. We could decide to break into two equations, but let's try to work faster and smarter. Now, negative 2 is less than n. Negative 2 is less than n. That means that n is greater than negative 2. That's what it means. Okay? So if negative 2 is less than n, it means that n. So if you have your number line, let's say here we have a 0, we have negative 2 here, and we have 2 here. Okay? So if we have that, we draw our circle here. If negative 2 is greater, is less than n, that means that n is greater. So mean that the values on this right side here, they are the values of n. They are the values of n. Now do not forget that we have equal to, so we are expected to shade this circle. Alright? And then the other part of the equation tells us that n is less than 2. N is less than 2. So we draw a circle on 2. Alright, so n is less than 2. That means it's on the left side of 2. So we move to the left in this form. Okay, so and then we join it. So the smallest, so the possible values, like We're not asked to really draw the number line, but sometimes, like I said, if you want to easily get it, you can draw it. So the values include -2, -1, 0, and 1. Take note that we are not expected to include 2 because it's not in the expression.